Yes, guys, yes, people, welcome back to Elijah Talks Football. It's your boy Elijah here, and welcome to the Premier League predictions. It's been such a long time since I've been doing these predictions. Like the last time I can remember was literally about 3 weeks ago when there's international break, and then last weekend there was the FA Cup. So it's been a long time, but the Premier League is back, and for the next 6 games, we're going to determine which teams is going to be relegated, which teams are going to be in Europe next season, particularly in the Champions League, because top five is guaranteed takes you to the Champions League after Arsenal went away to Sporting and won 1-0. And then we're going to see which team is going to win the Premier League. Because even though Arsenal are 9 points clear, Man City have a game in hand, which they haven't let us know when that's going to happen. And also, I believe next weekend, Man City face Arsenal, which is a huge game. So the title race, if Man City keep dropping points and Arsenal win, then the title race is over. But if Arsenal drop points in a few games and then Man City keep on winning games, then the title race is back on. So I'm looking forward to it. So the next 6 games, I'm going to call it the Premier League one in. So my start of the intro is going to be, yes, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to the Premier League one in predictions. That's what I'm going to call it from now until the end of the season because there's 6 games left and we're in game week 32 and games are coming in thick and fast and this is coming in thick and fast. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Which teams are going to get relegated because we know who the 2 teams are, but one of them can join in the Championship next season. Would it be Forest? Would it be West Ham? Or could it be Tottenham? Because they're in it as well. Looking at the race for the top five, of course, Man United in third on 55 points, Villa in fourth on 54 points, Liverpool on 49 points, and Chelsea on 48 points. So top five get you Champions League football. Of course, Chelsea are now in sixth, but things could change, man. Things could change. So only one of those teams could be out of the Champions League for next season. Who would it be? We'll find out. Of course, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Brighton, and Sunderland are the teams that can battle out for Europe because sixth place, because Brentford and Everton are 2 points behind the Europa League. Fulham, two, yeah, four, sorry, 4 points behind. Brighton, Sunderland are 5 points behind. Newcastle and Bournemouth are 6 points behind. So, as you can see, there's a lot of teams that will try to battle it up for Europe next season. So, which team could be in the Europa League and which team will be in the Conference League? We shall wait and see. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. And like I said, Arsenal are 9 points clear, but Man City do have a game in hand. And if Man City do win a game in hand and beat Arsenal at the Etihad, they'll be 3 points behind them. So Man City, if they want to put the pressure on Arsenal, they need to keep winning games. Otherwise, the title race is truly over and Arsenal will win it. So yeah, man, these next 6 games will determine one team will be relegated because Burnley and Wolves will definitely be relegated. Only one team will miss out the Champions League football. So could it be Liverpool or Chelsea? We have to wait and see because Man United and Villa are in a really good position right now. And one team, we could determine that one team could win a title. Could it be Arsenal? Could it be Arsenal's year, which haven't won the league since 2004? Or can Man City end up, messing Arsenal's title hopes and a long wait for a Premier League trophy continues? We shall wait and see. So these next 6 games is going to really, really determine which team is going to have a really good season. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, man, Premier League one in and Premier predictions starts today. So guys, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe if I've done so already. And also hit the hype button so that I can earn enough points and there'll be more viewers joining in. So yeah, share this video to all your friends and family so that they can join in the predictions. And if you guys are watching at home And if you don't give any of my predictions, then leave your predictions in the comments below, and I'll explain to you why you think that team is going to win, lose, or draw. So yeah, just put in the chat if you got your Premier predictions. All right, people, I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, let the Premier League one in predictions begin. Alright, so the first game of the Premier League 1 in with 6 Premier League games to go is tonight's game. West Ham versus Wolves. And this is the battle for survival for West Ham because Wolves, I mean, they're pretty much relegated, but if they continue to win every single, but guess what? If Wolves, yeah, can win every single game, then they have a chance of staying up because they're on 17 points, and 6 times 3 equals 18. And that will put them in a really good position for them to stay up. So this is a huge game for both teams. But for West Ham, this is huge for them because their stadium has never ever been relegated. Never. This would be the first, if West Ham do get relegated, this would be the first time the London Stadium have experienced that. Because before London Stadium came in, there was Upton Park. Now there's a London Stadium at 60,000 fans. So for me, this is a huge game for West Ham. This is a huge game. And if I look at their form, they've only got one win in 5. Only one win in 5. And that win, I think it was against Tottenham, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that, which is absolutely crazy. But this is a huge game for West Ham because if they do win tonight, they will be out of the relegation zone, and Tottenham will be in the relegation zone this time rather than West Ham. So this is a huge game. It's a huge game for West Ham. They've got to win this game if they have any chance of survival this season. So it's a huge game. Now, if you guys are new around here, what I usually do is I do the overall stats for each of those games. So let's just have a look, shall we? So here's the facts. West Ham have won their last 5 Premier League home games against Wolves. Only against Blackburn, Middlesbrough and Sunderland have they won more consecutively in the competition. Wolves are looking to complete the league double over West Ham for the first time since the 2019-20 season, obviously during COVID. Since their return to the Premier League in 2018, they've only beaten Southampton more often in the division than they have the Hammers, which is 8 times. None of the last 60 Premier League meetings between West Ham and Wolves have been drawn, with both sides winning 8 apiece. The Hammers have failed to score in 8 of those defeats. West Ham have lost one of their last 6 home Premier League games, collecting more points over that period than their first 9 home matches of this season. Following a run of 11 consecutive defeats between October and December, Wolves have lost 4 of their last 13 matches in the Premier League, with only Arsenal, Man City and Brighton conceding fewer goals in that time than their 15. And finally, Wolves have scored 2 goals in each of their last 3 Premier League games, netting just 1 field goal in total than their prior to 8 games, which was 7. Their last netting 2 plus goals in more straight games in November 2024, which is a 1 of 5. So as you can see, these stats kind of do work in Wolves' favor, and they're looking to you know, do the greatest escapes, in the Premier League. So, yeah, man. So listen, Wolves, if they win this game, that'll give them hope. Because if they do win, they'll be 9 points behind West Ham. And this could be a huge boost for Burnley. Because they win the next game, they'll be 6 points behind. So as you can see here, you know, it's not only that Forest, Tottenham, and West Ham are looking to survive, we could potentially say the same thing against Burnley for Burnley and Wolves. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm definitely going to be watching this game tonight and see what happens. So for this game, I mean, I would love it if Wolves can get a win. I would love it because Tottenham fans and Nottingham Forest fans will be watching that game and they'll be hoping for hopefully either a draw or Wolves win. because they don't want to see West Ham, catching up to them just like that. You know what I mean? But for me, I want West Ham to win. I really do because I've got really good fans for West Ham fans, the likes of Sonny and likes of Thomas, and it will be so heartbreaking, yeah, if West Ham be relegated because I wouldn't. I can just tell that Sonny and Thomas, who I met, the last time I met them was a year ago. I will. They will be so sad and heartbroken. I'll just really feel their pain. So for me, I want West Ham to stay up. I really do, for the sake of my two good friends, Sonny Scott and Thomas O'Neill. So for this game, I know they'll be texting me and going, how do you think the game is going to go? And my score prediction is going to be a 3-1. Oh, actually, Wolves. I mean, West Ham do concede a few goals in this one. Now, I'm going to go for 3-1 because my first thought is that 3-2, but I'm like, I think Wolves will score. But the fact they scored 2 goals, in the last few games. You know what? I was thinking of a 3-2 the first time, and I'm like, nah. But you know what? I'm going to change it to 3-2. I'm going to change it to 3-2 because that was my first thought. I was thinking of a 3-1, but I'm like, no, let me go for 3-2. I think it's going to be a really good game to watch because, like I said, both teams are looking to survive. Now, if Wolves continue to win every game for now until the end of the season, they could potentially stay up, because they're on 17 points. And if Wolves win every single game, they're on 35. Because 6 times 3 equals 18, and 18 plus 17 equals 35. And that may not be enough because 40 points will get you safety, but we'll see what happens. So this is a huge game for both teams. So I'm looking forward to this. The battle for survival at the London Stadium at 8 o'clock. So yeah, my score prediction for that game later today is West Ham 3, Wolves 2. Goal scorers for West Ham, I'm going to go for Summerfield, Bowen, and kind of Wilson. For Wolves, I'm going to go for Wanky Chan and somebody else to score. So yeah, 3-2 to West Ham. I think it's going to be a really good and entertaining game, and hopefully there is, because like I said, both teams are looking to survive. So this should be a good one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. West Ham 3, Wolves 2. Then we move on into Saturday's game, and the first game is Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Of course, Arsenal's last Premier League game was a when was actually no, they that game week 31, by the way, was against Wolves and they drew 2-2. But if I look at Arsenal's last Premier League game, it was a 2-0 win against Everton. I remember Max Diamond scored that goal. And then West Ham, yes, and then it was 2-0. But Arsenal's last game was, of course, Sporting. But last weekend, Arsenal lost 2-1 away to Southampton. Now, for me, I wasn't particularly surprised, because Arsenal don't tend to do well in that stadium. Remember in COVID, Southampton knocked them out and it was 1-0. Like Southampton has certainly does have a good record against Arsenal at St. Mary's. So I'm not even surprised. But Arsenal, before the Carabao Cup game, had 4 trophies, before the Carabao Cup game. But now it's gone from quadruple to treble to now double. Do you know what I mean? So also, yeah, they need to win this league. They have to win this league because anyhow, also go trophyless this season after nearly spending £1 billion and end up winning and end up getting trophyless. I think Mikel Arteta, I would love him to stay because I don't want Arsenal to win any trophy. But as a footballer, as a neutral fan, I think he has to go because yes, you guys have been in title ways, this and that, but you haven't got over the line. Like Arsenal, the last time they won a major trophy was in 2020, and it's nearly 6 years ago. Every Big Six team has won every trophy. Tottenham have won more recently in a lot, than Arsenal. So Arsenal really have to win this league because if they don't, if Arsenal, yeah, and their recent performances hasn't been that great. You look at the Sporting Lisbon game. Like Sporting Lisbon should have won that game because they hit the post, their attempts were shared, the goalkeeper, this and that. So that performance wasn't been that great, but they got the job done. I'd like to say this as well. For people to call Arsenal boring, listen, You can have boring games, but the most important thing is to win a game of football. That's all that matters. Imagine if, listen, if I chose Chelsea do that, but we win 1-0, do you think I'm going to be bothered about the performance? No. Obviously, if the players do bad, I'll criticize them, but if the players do good, then I'll praise them. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't care about the boring game. All I would care about is the 3 points. And that's all that matters. So that's the one thing I'm gonna say. So yes, also its performances have been that good, but they got the job done. So there you go. But like I said, also need to win this league. They have to. And if they win this game, they'll be 12 points clear. But of course, Man City will play Chelsea on Sunday, which I'll get you just a moment. But there you go. But as for Bournemouth, I mean, they're unbeaten as well, but they've got 5 draws in a row. 5 draws, you know. I mean, could we see Bournemouth getting a draw against Arsenal? Who knows? Because Bournemouth love a draw here. They really do love a draw. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that game. But that's an early kickoff on a Saturday at the Emirates Stadium. So let's have a look at the stats for that game. So, having won each of their first 8 home games against Bournemouth in all competitions, also lost this exact fixture 2-1 last season. And that was the time where Bournemouth did the double over them, by the way. But that was when Arsenal wasn't particularly being that great, especially in the league, though. Bournemouth have won 2 of their last 3 games against Arsenal, more they had in their previous 14. Arsenal have won each of their last 4 Premier League games, are looking to win 5 in a row for the 3rd time this season, after September 28th to November 1st and December 13th to January 3rd. It would be the 3rd Premier League season in which the Gunners had separate ones of 5+ consecutive wins after 2013 to 14 and 22 to 23 season. But in that season, they didn't win the league. Bournemouth, 11 game unbeaten one, is their joint longest in the Premier League, along with between November 2024 and January 2025, which is of course the same, but switch. Indeed, the Cherries could become the 3rd side in the competition to record 6 consecutive draws since Man City in November 2009, which was 7 times. Arsenal could equal their joint longest winning one in the Premier League this season with a victory over Bournemouth, which is 5 games, have won 5 in a row between September, November and December, January. It will be the 6th one of more than 5 wins by any side this turn, with no other team recording more than Villa, Liverpool and Man City all in one. So as you can see, these stats kind of do work in Bournemouth's favour because, like I said, last season they did the double over them and they're unbeaten in 5 games and they're looking to make it, sorry, 6 games. All 6 of them have been draws. And if they draw against Arsenal tomorrow, this will be 7th and that will equal Man City's one in 2009, which is absolutely crazy. So would I be surprised if it ends in a draw? Absolutely not. So listen, even though Arsenal, even though Bournemouth are unbeaten, you know, um, their 6 games have been a draw exactly. So for me, for this game, I think Arsenal have got to win this game. They really got to win this game because anyhow they drop points and Man City to win their game against Chelsea, the title race could be back to 6 points potentially. So Arsenal, the pressure's on them. They can't afford to drop a few points and let Man City win every single game from now to the end of the season. So this is a huge game. It really is. So for this game tomorrow, I'm gonna go for an Arsenal 3-0. I'm gonna go for an Arsenal 3-0 because they'll definitely keep a clean sheet and they'll definitely win this game. So yeah, I'm gonna go for an Arsenal 3. Sorry about that, guys. My mic just suddenly just disconnected, and you guys couldn't hear me. But anyway, I'm back. So if you guys missed what I said, I'll say it again. So my score prediction for this game tomorrow is an Arsenal 3-0. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Declan Rice and Gabriel Magalhaes and Victor Gyökeres to score. So yeah, man. So 3-0 to Arsenal, and And like I said, even though Bournemouth are unbeaten the last 6 games, one of them have been draws. I don't think they're gonna get a draw against Arsenal. I don't think so. So yeah, man. So yeah, Arsenal need to win this game tomorrow because anyhow they drop points and Man City, beat Chelsea. The game, this could be either 6 points or 7 points behind. So Arsenal cannot afford to slip up whatsoever. So Arsenal need to win this game, and they'll definitely do it. See, I'm gonna go for an Arsenal 3-0. They'll definitely win, and they'll definitely keep it clean sheet. So 3-0 to them. All right, the next one. I am feeling a bit nervous because both teams are in a similar points, and one of those teams are looking to make it to the World League for next season. Brentford versus Everton, 7th versus 8th. And I'm definitely going to be watching that game because I just want that game to be a draw for Chelsea's sake. Because if Brentford beat Everton, they go above my club. If Everton do the same thing, they also go above us. So Chelsea could potentially be 7th by the end before our game against Man City, and I definitely do not want that to happen. So I just hoping for that game to be a draw. I'm just hoping. I really am hoping. So oops, sorry guys, one sec. Just there we go. So yeah, that's the next game. So let's just quickly read out the stats for this one. So Brentford beat Everton 4-2 in a January first fixture and then 6-game winless one against the Toffees in the Premier League. Everton are unbeaten in the last 3 Premier League away games against Brentford and have conceded exactly once in each of their last 4 visits to the Bees in the competition. Brentford have drawn each of their last 3 Premier League games for the first time since April 2014. The last drew 4 in a row in the league in April 2021 in the Championship. Since match day 19, the Premier League, in the Premier League, only Arsenal and Manchester United have collected more points than Everton, with the Toffees winning 3 of their last 4 matches. Despite only Arsenal picking up more points away from home in the Premier League than Everton, since David Moyes returned to the club, the Toffees couldn't lose consecutive matches on the road for the second time since Scott's return, after doing so in September/October this season against Liverpool and Manchester City. So you can see that these stats kind of do work in Everton's favour. Not so for Brentford, but like I said, I'll be watching that game, and I'm hoping for that game to be a draw. Because, like I said, Chelsea, could potentially not make to Europe after all the money that we spend. So for me, I'm just hoping for that game to be a draw, so that not one of them could be above Chelsea. So I'm gonna be watching that game, and I'm hoping that it ends in a draw. So I wanted to go for Brentford to win, but I thought to myself, you know what, Everton are really good away from home. They really are. Of course, they did lose to Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, and of course, this will be the first time they've lost back-to-back games on the road. So there we go. But I think Everton are good away from home, so that's why I feel like this game is going to be a draw. Like, if Everton win, I wouldn't be surprised. If Brentford win, I wouldn't be surprised. Because, like I said, one of them could be above my club. One of them. So, but I hope that doesn't happen. See, I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. That is it for me. Brentford goal scorer, I'm going to go for Igor Thiago. For Everton, I'm going to go for Beto to score. So, yeah, 1-0 draw in that game. Hopefully, that happens tomorrow. All right, there's only two 3 p.m. kickoff games, so let's move on into Burnley versus Brighton, of course. Burnley lost 3-1 away to Fulham, whereas for Brighton they beaten Liverpool 2-1, which I got it spot on. So there we go. Of course, Brighton are in 10th place, and they're looking to make it to Europe because they're 3 points behind Brentford, and 7th place gets you Conference League football. So there you go. So Brighton are looking to make it to Europe for the you know like they did 3 seasons ago. So there we go. Whereas for Burnley, They are in 19th place, but they're not relegated just yet because they're 9 points behind West Ham, and 10 points behind Tottenham. Now, if Burnley win their game against Brighton, and let's say that West Ham and Tottenham lose their games, then Burnley could be potentially um 7 points behind the relegation and only 6 points behind West Ham. Like, not only do Wolves have to win every single game for them to survive, but Burnley have to do the same thing. But the problem is that I really do not see that happening. So for me, I think Wolves have more of a chance of staying up than Burnley because Wolves are unbeaten last 3 games, whereas for Burnley, they've drawn 2 and lost 3. So yeah, man. So I think Burnley for me are going to get relegated. So there we go. But listen, I'm just hoping for um for Burnley to do something because, like I said, Brighton are 5 points behind my club. 5 points. Like for me, I let me not say anything before I get myself into trouble. So let me just quickly read out the stats for that game. So let's have a look. So where is it? Yeah, there we go. So Burnley have won just one of the last 9 home league games against Brighton, beating them 1-0 in December 2018 under Sean Dyche. Well, they don't have him anymore. Brighton are looking to complete the Premier League double over Burnley for the first time, last doing so in any division in the 2012-23 Championship campaign. 7 of their 13 Premier League meetings between Burnley and Brighton have been drawn, with both sides winning 3 each. It's one of their just 8 Premier League fixtures to be played more than 12 times and finish level more than half the time. Burnley have picked up 10 points across their last 22 Premier League games, as many as they have managed in their opening 9 matches. While their next defeat in the competition will be the 20th this term, which would be the joint third most in the Premier League campaign after only 09-10 and 23-24, which is both 24 times. Brighton have won 4 of their last 5 Premier League matches and could win 3 consecutive league games away from home for the first time since January 2023, the only time they previously done so in the competition. After winning each of their first 3 Premier League games this season in which they've led, Burnley since won just 5 matches when leading since this season. The Clarids face the highest open play XG per 90 amongst all of the sides in winning game state, which is 1.77. So as you can see here, these stats kind of do work in Brighton's favour, not so for Burnley. So for this game, I'm gonna go for a Brighton win. I'm gonna go for I think Burnley will score. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for Brighton win of 2-1. They'll just about get the job done because Turf Moor is a difficult place to go to, and Burnley do have some decent results, but for me, I feel like Wolves have more of a chance of staying up than them. So yeah, for this game, I'm hoping that it ends in a draw because I don't want Brighton to be catching up to my club. But yeah, they'll just get the job done. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Brighton win against Burnley for that game tomorrow. So there we go. So yeah, 2-1. It's gonna be my score prediction. All right, the next one. I am looking forward to this one. Liverpool versus Fulham. And this game, I'm going to be watching it because Liverpool are in a real mess at the moment. Like, Arne Slot, yeah, have lost 17 games in all competitions since the start of this season. 17. Now, I'm going to try and remember inside of my head. So they lost to Man City in the FA Cup. They lost to Chelsea. They lost to Brighton. They lost to Bournemouth. They lost to City in the league twice. Yeah, so City 3 times this season. Lost to Chelsea. Lost to Bournemouth. Lost to United. Lost to PSV, to Galatasaray twice. To PSG. They lost to I can't remember. In fact, let me just let me look at it on Instagram and they will take it from there. So let's have a look. Where's one football? I'm just trying to. Oh, one championship. No, sorry guys. Give me a few minutes. I'm just um. Oh, there's one time where Liverpool lost. 17 games lost. I'm just trying to. So yeah, look at this. In fact, this is a really bad stat. Arne Slot, yeah, have lost more games, this season than Amwin did last season. Like, that is crazy. That is crazy. Like, that is embarrassing. That is kind of embarrassing. So, I wish, yeah, I can tell you all of the games they have lost. I wish I can tell you, but I can't seem to find it. But anyway, 17 games is mad. It is mad. More losses than Amwin this season. I mean, since the start of last season. Crazy, man. Crazy. But yeah, Liverpool this season, they've lost 2-0 away to PSG, and it could have been more. And the fact that Liverpool played the back five, I'm pretty surprised because I've never seen that one before. Never. Because usually Liverpool play like a 4-2-3-1 or maybe a 4-4-2 under Jurgen Klopp, a 4-3-3. The fact that Liverpool played the back five, and left, open, it just really, really got me surprised and shocked because I don't think Slot has ever done this ever. So there we go. But yeah, Liverpool right now, for me, they're out because I don't see them keeping a clean sheet, let alone scoring 3 goals. I know people and by the way, people said to me that you never know. Football can be a funny thing. Well, guess what? You don't have Klopp anymore. You don't have the likes of Firmino, Sadio Mane, Wijnaldum, this and that. And you don't have Alisson who's injured. So for me, Liverpool are out. They're out, and they're lucky there's only two because it could have been 3 or 5 or 6 or 7. So yeah, Liverpool are out, but Liverpool are in a crisis right now. And could you imagine if Liverpool do not get Champions League football after spending nearly £500 million this summer? That would be crazy. That would be insane. But yeah, man, Liverpool, they've got blood on their hands and they need to like fix up. Otherwise, they're in deep trouble this season. So there we go. But yeah, let me quickly read out the stats for that game. So Liverpool are winners in the last 3 Premier League games against Fulham, drawing to a loser one. Of course, they did lose to them last season. Only once they've had a longer one without a league win against the Cottagers between 1966 and 1967. Fulham have won two of their 32 away league games against Liverpool, winning 1 in both May 2022 and March 2021. Fulham have scored 13 goals in 7 Premier League games against Liverpool since their return to the division in 2022. Only Spurs and Brighton have netted more against the Reds in that time. Both Liverpool and Fulham have netted at least twice in each of their last 3 Premier League meetings. The only things to see both sides scoring 2 or more 4 times in a row in the competition are Brighton vs Leicester and Crystal Palace vs Man City. Since match day 6 in the Premier League this season, Liverpool have lost 10 more league games than they've won in 9, which is absolutely crazy, with 11 sides collecting more points in the competition after 34 in that time. After winning only 2 of their first 8 Premier League games, Fulham have won 3 of their last 5, while only Bournemouth and Manchester United have won more points from losing positions this calendar year than the Cottagers. And finally, actually, no. No side in the Premier League this season have scored more goals in the final 20 minutes of the game than Fulham, while the Reds have conceded 18 in that time, 2 more than any other side. And finally, Liverpool ranked 19th for high-intensity pressures applied in the compromise half in the Premier League this season, and 20th for high-intensity pressures applied in the middle third, 289 fewer than any other side. So, as you can see from my stats, the these stats kind of do work in Fulham's favor than Liverpool. So there we go. Now, as a Chelsea fan, I want that game to be a draw. I really do because If Fulham win, they will be 1 point behind Chelsea. And if Liverpool win, there will be 4 points ahead of Chelsea. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm gonna be so these Saturday's games is perfect for me because my club is playing on a Sunday and I don't have to be watching, all three games at once. I could just be watching every single game. So listen, I want that game to be a draw. I really do because I don't Liverpool to like be that far, and I don't Fulham to be catching up to Chelsea, another West London club. So for this game tomorrow, I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna go for the same scoreline than it was in the reverse fixture. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw. I think I think Anfield will be a difficult place to go to, but I don't think any team is scared of Liverpool because Arne Slot is out of his depth. He's just tactically in net and he's getting outclassed by nearly everybody. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw. Goal scores, I'm gonna go for Dominic Szoboszlai, and I'm gonna go for Hugo Ekitike. For Fulham, I'm gonna go for Alex Iwobi, and I'm gonna go for Harry Wilson. And Harry Wilson used to play for Liverpool, and I hope he can, break Liverpool's hearts in that game. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-2 draw hopefully. So yeah, that would be my prediction for that game on Saturday Night Football. So yeah, that's all of Saturday's games. Let's move on into Super Sunday. So the first game on Sunday is Crystal Palace versus Newcastle United. Of course, Crystal Palace are 1 point from safety because they're on 39 points. Whereas for Newcastle, they're on 42. Um, so they're definitely safe. But Newcastle right now, their last game was against Sunderland in the in the Tramway Derby, and they've lost. So Sunderland have basically done the double over Newcastle, which is absolutely crazy. And the fact that Newcastle could be potentially playing one game a week if they keep on dropping points is crazy. The fact that Newcastle tend to get Champions League football when they have one game a week, and then when they get Champions League football, they can't. They seem to struggle, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, man. So for Crystal Palace, they're looking to get 40 points, and a draw will be good for them. They simply can't afford to lose because if Palace lose to Newcastle and Leeds win their game, they'll they'll only be 3 points ahead of them. So Crystal Palace have really got to win this game if they definitely want to avoid of being in the relegation zone. So there we go. So yeah, man, let's see what the stats is for that game. Let's go to that and see. So um, having lost their first four Premier League home games against Newcastle between 1994 and 2013, Crystal Palace have lost just one of the last 10 against the Magpies, which is winning 3 and drawing 6. Following their 2-0 win at St James Park in January, Newcastle are looking to complete the league double for Crystal Palace for the first time since the 2013 to 14 season. Sorry. Newcastle have lost just one of their last 9 Premier League games against Crystal Palace, keeping a clean sheet in 6 of their last 8 against the Eagles. Crystal Palace have won just one of their last 10 games at Selhurst Park in the Premier League, a 1-0 victory over bottom-side Wolves in February. Indeed, only Burnley and Tottenham have fewer home Premier League wins this season than the Eagles coming into this weekend. Newcastle have lost 6 of their last 9 Premier League games, the joint most of any side since the start of this one in January 25th. Only 3 sides, Leeds, Burnley, and Tottenham, have fewer points of the last 9 Premier League matches this season than the Magpies. Crystal Palace have won one of their last 9 Premier League games against immediately followed a UEFA Conference League match this season, a 1-0 win over bottom-side Wolves in February. So, as you can see here, Crystal Palace, after the Conference League, don't tend to do well. And finally, after winning two of the last first 12 away games in the Premier League this season. Newcastle have won two of their last three on the road and could win back-to-back away league games for the first time since April 2025. So you can clearly see that these stats kind of do work in Newcastle's favor for this game, not so much for Crystal Palace. In fact, speaking of European places, Liverpool are the only English side to lose because Arsenal won, Forest drew against Porto away. Villa won 3-1 away to Bologna, and Palace won 3-0 yesterday. So Crystal Palace are doing a really good job at the moment. But in terms of the Premier League, they don't tend to do well. So for this game tomorrow, I'm sorry, on Sunday, I'm gonna go for a Newcastle win. I mean, this one is a tough one because Newcastle kept a clean sheet in their last game against my club. So for this game, I'm going to go for Newcastle win of 1-0. I'm going to go for 1-0. I think they're going to keep a clean sheet. I feel like they'll get the first goal and our Crystal Palace will be on the ball and just defend all their lives the way that they did against Chelsea. So yeah, I'm going to go for 1-0. And the only goal score I'm going to go for, and the goal scorer to score in that game is only going to be Voltamada, and that's basically it. So yeah, 1-0 to Newcastle. It's going to be my prediction for that game on Sunday. So there we go. So yeah, 1-0 to Newcastle. And that will not do good for Paris because, like I said, they've got to not lose that game. A draw will be enough, and a win will definitely be enough for them to get 40 points or more. But the fact that Palace don't tend to do well, after Conference League, it's not particularly that great. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Newcastle win in that game on Sunday. Why the next game is the two teams that played in the Europa League this season. Forest versus Aston Villa. Villa won 2-0 against West Ham. And for Forest, they've won 3-0 away to Tottenham. Now, for this game, I want Forest to win this game. I really do. Because in fact, looking at the table, yeah, Forest aren't beaten the last three games. And Villa, they got that win, but it's only one win in five because before that, they've lost three games in a row. So yeah, I want Forest to win that game because they're at home. They are at home and they want to stay up. Because like I said, they better make sure that West Ham, yeah, but that both West Ham and Tottenham do not win that game. Because if that happens and Forest lose their game, there could be potentially either 17 or 18, depending on the goal difference. So this is a huge game for Forest. And it's also a huge game for Villa because they want to get Champions League football this season. But I think this means more for Forest than it is for Villa. Do you know what I mean? Because Forest want to stay up this season and they have to. They have to if they don't want their fans to go. They have a go at Mawanakas this season. So there we go. But yeah, I feel like Forest are going to win this game. I have a belief because Villa away from home, I've not been that great this season. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But let's just have a look at these stats for that game. So let's see. So yeah, Nottingham Forest have won their last two home league games against Aston Villa, last winning 3 in a row against them between 1997 and 1979. Aston Villa are looking to complete the league double over Nottingham Forest for the first time since the 17-18 season and for the first time in the Premier League since it began. Aston Villa have lost 3 of their 17 Premier League games against Nottingham Forest. Alongside they faced 15 times in the competition, only against Coventry they did lower lost weight than against Forest. Nottingham Forest are winners in their last 7 home league games, failing to score in each of their last 3. That's not good. The Tricky Trees went longer without a home league goal in February 2018 in the Championship, only once doing in the top 5 in April 1911. Boy, that is a long time ago. Aston Villa have lost both their last 2 away games in the Premier League, last losing more in a row between November and December 2024, a one which included a 2-1 loss to Nottingham Forest. So you can see here that some stats work in Villa's favour and some work in Notts and Forest's favour. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that game. Um, but for this game, like I said, Forest have got to win because if Forest do win that game, then they're 5 points from safety. 5 points. So Forest have got to pick up 8 points in order for them to stay up. So for me, I'm going to be watching that game and fingers crossed, and I know Man United, Liverpool want the same thing as well. Fingers crossed, Forest get the win and get the job done. So for this game on Sunday, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Forest win. See, and yes, I know they haven't got done do well in the at home this season under the new manager, but they've got to end that one. They really got to, and I hope they can do that so that Aston Villa, um, so that other teams could put pressure on Aston Villa in terms of getting top five. So I'm gonna go for 2-1 Forest win. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Igor Jesus and Elliot Anderson and maybe Morgan Gibbs White to score. For Aston Villa, the only goal scorer I'm gonna go for is Ollie Watkins. So yeah, 2-1 to Nottingham Forest is going to be my prediction for that game on Sunday. Right, the next game is Sunderland versus Tottenham. And of course, Tottenham appoint Robert De Zerbi as the new manager. Now, Robert De Zerbi have got a job to do. He has got a job to do because I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago that I saw that it's been 100 days since Tottenham last won a Premier League game, and I was away to Crystal Palace. 100 games, absolutely crazy. Like Tottenham are still yet to win a Premier League game this season. They're still yet to do that. I'm not gonna even bother reading those stats because it's gonna take a while. But the ones that I'm gonna read you guys is crazy. Look at this, yeah. And you may think that this is fake, but it's actually true. Since the start of 2025, PSG have more wins against Premier League teams at home than Tottenham. And if you want me to be specific, since the start of 2025, they got a 4-2 win against Man City, 3-1 win against Villa, and a 2-1 win against Arsenal, and they end up winning the Champions League. And now this season in Champions League, they won 5-3 against Tottenham, 5-2 against Chelsea, and a 2-0 against Liverpool 2 days ago. So if we count that up, that's 6 in total. Now, if we look at Tottenham and their wins against Premier League teams since 2025, it's only been 5. 1-0 against Liverpool, 1-0 against Man United, 3-1 against Southampton, which was last season. And if you look at this season, they've only got 2 home wins, and that was a nearly ported team against Burnley, and then a 2-0 against Brentford. And if you count that all together, that's 5. So it's absolutely crazy that PSG, the European champions, have more wins against Premier League teams at the Parc des Princes than Tottenham did at the Tottenham Stadium or White Hart Lane. It's absolutely crazy. So Robert De Zerbi has really, really got to fix up, because I cannot imagine Robert De Zerbi being that worse of a manager than the likes of Thomas Frank and maybe Igor Thiago. So Robert De Zerbi has really got to make Tottenham stay up. And Tottenham, they need at least 10 points for them to stay up. So for me, Tottenham need to win 3 games and get a draw, because that'll be enough for them. Anyhow, Tottenham, lose to Sunderland, then for me, I don't think they're relegated. But if Tottenham keep losing games then for me, they're relegated. They are relegated. So Tottenham have really got to make sure that West Ham drop points, Forest have dropped points, and also Leeds drop points, because Leeds got away to Old Trafford on Monday, which I'll get in just a moment. But Tottenham have really got to stay up, and they've really got to fix up, because anyhow they're relegated. The fact that 62,000 capacity could be the biggest stadium in the Championship next season could be crazy. It really could. So For me, this is the first game on the Robert De Zerbi, so I'm just gonna predict a Sunderland win because I don't know what Tottenham is going to end up. I don't know what going to be their style of play is. What the formation they're going to play. If Robert De Zerbi is going to put their players in the correct position. So I'll be watching that game. We'll see what happens. So, but at this moment in time, as I'm going this video right now, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Sunderland win because even though they've lost 3 home, or was it 4 Premier League home games this season, since that 1-0 loss in like February, like Tottenham are way worse than Sunderland this season. They really are. And of course, Sunderland right now are in 11th place, and they're looking to make it to the European places. So yeah, man. So we're gonna see what Robert De Zerbi does in that game. But at some moment in time, I'm gonna go for a 2-1. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Sunderland win. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Granit Xhaka and Barry to score for Tottenham. I'm gonna go for let's go for Richarlison to score. So yeah, 2-1 Sunderland win against Tottenham is gonna be my prediction for that game on Sunday. And then we move on into the big game, the game of the weekend. Chelsea face Man City. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about this too much because there will be a preview that will be coming out tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune in. And I'm going to read you out the statistics in that game. But for me, as a Chelsea fan, I know you guys are saying, oh, you should back your team this and that because we got to win. Now, listen, I know we won our last game, but let's be real. It's against Port Vale. They're bottom of League 2. I was supposed to win that game. So I'm just going to count that game for absolutely nothing. This is the real test. Because Chelsea, all I know is that the ones that I do know is that Chelsea still haven't beaten Man City in all competitions since the Champions League final in 2021, which is literally 5 years ago. So for me, that's why I'm not confident because we still haven't beaten City and we still haven't beaten Arsenal since 2021. Those are the teams that we're still yet to beat. So that's why for me, yeah, I know that when I do a watch along, I know Arsenal fans will be saying to me, just do your job and get a result against Man City. And I'll be saying to them, listen, I understand you want to win this league, but if I was an Arsenal fan, just do not count Chelsea. Don't trust Chelsea because as you can see, we've lost 2 games in a row in the Premier League. And in those games, we haven't scored. 1-0 loss against Newcastle at home and a 3-0 away to Everton. And those are the games we didn't score. So, if you guys will be wondering who's going to score in this game, I do not know. Because I don't trust our defense to handle the likes of Erling Haaland. I don't know if our fullbacks is going to be handling the likes of Ryan Cherky as well. He's on really good form. So Manuel and Jeremy Doku. I really can't trust our defense. And maybe I can't trust Robert Sanchez as well. Because he's asked for him, because the manager's asked for him to play out from the back, which clearly didn't work. It really didn't. So for me, I ain't confident in this game. I know people say he said this against Man City and he got a 1-1 draw under Canham of Fog. That is true. And and I was very surprised by that. But listen, that was away from home. Our record, if I tell you Chelsea's Premier League home form. Yeah, if I tell you guys the home form in the Premier League this season, Chelsea are in 12th place. We are in 12th place. We've won 6 games out of 15 at home. If you compare that to Man City, they're in 2nd place. And if you look at our table, 123 points. And that is this, and our home record is the same as Leeds United this season. So you can clearly see our home record is absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous this season. So Arsenal fans, you can have belief, but you can't trust Chelsea. So for this game, I know people will call me a fake fan and negative, but I'm just being realistic. I am being realistic. I don't see us scoring in this game, and I don't see us winning. It will either be a draw or a loss. I'll be very surprised here if we do beat Man City. And I'll be buzzing as well. But for this game on Sunday, I have no faith in this team. And yes, we won our last game, but it's against Port Vale and then 24th. So for me, Man City are a different team. So I am going to go for 2-0 City. Goal scorers in that game, Semenyo and Erling Haaland, and that's basically it. So yeah, 2-0 to Man City. It's going to be my prediction in that game on Sunday. So yeah, big game, but I ain't looking forward to it. So yeah, 2-0 City. If they want to win this league, they've got to win this game. So, and they'll do that because we still haven't beat them since 2021, which is crazy. So there we go. So yeah, 2-0 to them. And then the last game of Game Week 32 is on a Monday night. And Man United, man, they're back. They're back after like about 3 or 4 weeks after resting. They are back in action. So it's crazy the fact that they're going to play 40 games this season. 40, you know. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's the last game. Of course, Man United went away to Bournemouth and drew 2-2. In fact, both teams draw. Man United drew 2-2. Leeds drew 0-0. So there we go. But yeah, if you look at Leeds United, you know, they're on 33 points. And they have to stay up. They really got to stay up. And of course, Man United do hate Leeds United. And Chelsea do. But for me, I want Leeds United to get a result here, even though I hate them. Because Man United, yes, they'll get Champions League football, but if Chelsea, but Chelsea are now 7 points behind them. Let's say that if Chelsea um beat Man City and Man United as well, will be 1 point behind them. 1 point behind them. So Man United, they will definitely get Champions League, but for them, it's not confirmed yet because Villa are 1 point behind them and Liverpool are 6 points behind them. So it'll be amazing, yeah, if Chelsea do get to win against Man City and we beat Man United. It will be great for them. But at this moment in time, I don't see Leeds beating Man United because their work at Old Trafford is awful, absolutely awful. So there we go. Let me just see if there's any stats for that game. If not, then I'll just oh, okay, there is stats. There is some statistics. So let me read you out before I quickly tell you guys the my score prediction. So Man United are unbeaten in the last 18 home league games against Leeds United since a 1-0 loss in February 1981 under Dave Sexton. Following their 1-1 draw at Ellen Ward in January, Leeds are looking to avoid losing both league meetings with Man United in the season for the first time since 94-95 season. Man United have lost Man United have lost one of the last 20 Premier League games against Leeds and are beaten in all 5 evening kickers against them in the Premier League 7 p.m. or later. Man United have lost one of the last 14 Premier League games since Christmas Day, and with only league leaders also earning more points in the competition in this time than the Red Devils. Leeds United have failed to score in each of the last 4 Premier League games, the longest ongoing one in this season's competition, only from January to March 1982, and they ever gone longer without scoring in each of their last 6 in a while in the league history during a season in which they were relegated in the top flight. Michael Carrick have won all 6 of his Premier League games at Old Trafford as a Man United boss, 1 in 2021 and 5 in 2026. Oli Carlo Ancelotti, Sergen Akinson and Mauro Pellegrini have longer winning starts at home as Premier League managers. And finally, Leeds have drawn 7 of their last 8 away games in the Premier League, with no side drawing more on the wall with division than Bournemouth and Man United, which also did it in 7. The Whites have drawn their last 4. We'll only see more away games in succession finish level once in the league history, 6 from August to October 1998, which was basically 2 years before I was born. So you can clearly see that these stats do work in Man United's favour a lot. So, like I said, hope Leeds United get result at Old Trafford, and that would be amazing if they can do that. But unfortunately, I really do not see that happening. I just don't. So for this game, and the fact that Leeds United failed to score in 3 games, I feel like they're going to do it again. They really are going to do it again. So for this game on Monday night, I'm going to go for a Man United 2-0 win against Leeds United. They'll definitely keep a clean sheet, and they're a Man United will be few points, few games away of getting Champions League qualification. And Michael Carrick will be doing a really good job. So there we go. See, I'm going to go for 2-0. And the only goal scorers in that game is going to be Bruno Fernandes and Brian Mbeumo. So yeah, 2-0 to Man United. It's going to be my score prediction for that game on Monday night. So there we go. All right, guys. So let me go through my predictions one more time. So today's game, I've gone for a 3-2 West Ham win against Wolves. Then on Saturday's games, I went for a 3-0 Arsenal win against Bournemouth, a 1-0 draw between Everton and Brentford, a 2-1 Brighton win against Burnley, a Desmond 2-2 draw between Liverpool and Fulham. Then Super Sunday's games, I went for a Newcastle 1-0 win against Palace, 2-1 Forest win against Villa, a 2-1 solid win against Tottenham. Maybe that could change because they have a new manager called Robert De Zerbi. A 2-0 win against Man City. And the last and not least, on Monday Night Football, it's not a derby, but these two clubs hate each other. Man United, a 2-0 win against Leeds United at Old Trafford. And that, my people, is the Premier predictions 1 in for game week 32. And since that's the Premier predictions 1 in, sorry, let me say that again properly. And so since that's a Premier League 1 in predictions done, that's the end of this video. So if you guys enjoyed it, then click the like button. Thank you guys and thank you guys for watching this video. If you have done, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new to this channel, if you're watching this for the first time. Also share this video to all your friends, your family, to your cousins, to your nephews, to everybody that you know, so that they can, watch this video as well. And if you guys got your predictions, then do let me know in the comments below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. And don't forget to hit the hype button so that the points could be there, and maybe more viewers can join will be able to watch my content as well. So yeah, guys, don't forget there will be a match preview for the Man City game tomorrow, and there's also going to be a live watch along and a match action after that on Sunday. So make sure you guys tune in. But people, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And it's your boy Elijah here, and I'm out of here. Peace.